Juno-Award winning musician Melanie Doane has been taking her talents from the stage to the classroom, and her instrument of choice is the ukulele. And here now to tell us why this little instrument is so very good at reaching these students is the fabulous Melanie Doane. Welcome back.
Hi.
It's so great to have you here again.
Thank you.
It's been about 7 years since you were last here.
Really?
Yes. So, of course, my first question is, what have you been doing for 7 years, Mel? No, not
Hanging
quite
around.
that. Hanging. You're up to 7 albums now, right?
Yes. I don't know.
I think you are.
Sounds about right.
If each album, let's just get caught up on sort of your own personal singing, and then we'll talk ukulele.
Sure.
If each album describes sort of where you were at a particular time in your life, your last album, The Emerald City, where are we now?
That was a real rebirth from having been through lots of family changes and life changes. So now I'm spending a lot of time with kids, my own kids and other people's kids, which I find really exciting. And the new songs that are coming are reflecting that. You know, it's a love for life and a love being with people and making music. So that's kind of what's going to be the next stuff coming. The
next stuff coming. Does that mean you're done with albums?
No, I think that'll be the next bunch of tunes, but I might have to feature some of my newfound musicians that are budding and growing, you know.
Is it an odd transition to go from somebody who is that person up on the screen, rock and roll star, the videos, I mean, the hair, the look, the whole thing, to somebody who's trying to teach 6, 7, 10, 12, 14-year-olds how to play the ukulele?
No, because kids don't care about any of that. Sometimes they know a little something. Mostly they don't know who I am in any way, which is great. Sometimes teachers or parents do. Mostly they don't either, which is also great. And really what they want to know is, what do you have for me? Are you the real thing? Are you listening to me? And what are we going to do today? And if you're not the real deal, they know in about 2 seconds.
Right.
And they let you know. And it's very, very honest. It's a very honest relationship. And really, if you don't have the goods, you don't have the goods, and you're out the door, or they're, you know, making noise or whatever. So, for me, it's just a very, very straight up, honest kind of an experience, which I really, really love.
7 albums later, there are people who don't know who you are.
Oh, sure.
That you hang out with.
Oh, come
in your neighborhood. No,
you're silly.
Sorry, just telling it like it is. You're a big star.
Yeah,
I know. That's very nice quality you have, actually. You're very Canadian. You don't like when hosts overdo the praise.
Thank you.
Very nice. Before we talk about this venture, because in some respects you have inherited this a passion of yours and this responsibility that I gather you now feel to spread the good word. So who was J. Chalmers Doane?
That's my dad. He's a well-known music educator in this country, and I did grow up in his amazing music program in Halifax, so I'm the product of his work, and I grew up as his student, and also thousands of other kids from Halifax. And we had a really wonderful experience in our city because music, you know, was a big thing. He had teachers in every school. It was a compulsory situation. And one of his innovations was the use of the ukulele. Just one. He had, you know, this was not just a ukulele program. It was a full-scale strings, winds, everything. So, yes, it's interesting that you say inherited. I think there was a time where I needed to step away from my dad's legacy, I think, because how could you do that work? I mean, no one could do what he did. And then I had kids and realized, what group are they going to be in? Oh, I have to do something about this. And that's really what spurred me on to even just tip my toe into the water. And of course, once I did that, things started to snowball a little bit because I really love it. And I have something to offer, and I know a little, more than a little bit about it. And I have my dad on the other end of the phone, and I have my sister who's a music teacher in Cape Breton, and my brother who's a professional musician here in Toronto, and everyone can support what I'm attempting to do. So it's pretty interesting. He's
got the Order of Canada.
He does.
So he's got serious recognition for the work he's done in this area.
Yes. No, he's heavy. He's a heavy dude, and you know, it's fun. I bring him to school when he comes to Toronto. he's so excited. Well, how many classes today? You know, and I might have 3 or 4, and I take him to all the public schools that I'm in, and he's still the magic guy. I mean, he plays and the kids go crazy, and he's a wonderful teacher, and I'm really lucky to have him helping me.
How many instruments did he teach you how to play?
We all started on violin at age 3, and he was tricky. At the end of the violin class, we would play ukulele and sing. That was our reward. So he really taught 2 instruments and how to sing. So that was his first little trick. We all played piano, and we had instruments in the house at all times, and all the kids played different instruments, so you kind of learn from your sibling. And then there were times where my sister and brother played bass, drums and piano, and he'd say, well, we need bass. And I'd say, but Dad, I don't know how to play the bass. Pick it up, you know. So within 2 or 3 years, I could play the bass. So now, you know, I play a bit of bass. I play a little of everything.
I hear you're up to about 6 or 7 or 8 different instruments.
I function a lot, and this is something my dad teaches, functional ukulele, functional piano, functional playing, which integrates classical and ear training, and he calls it teaching by intelligence, all of these terms that are coined by him. So I function okay.
Now, don't take this the wrong way, but when I was a kid, Tiny Tim was very big. Tiptoe through the tulips, yes, exactly.
Yes.
But the ukulele was considered kind of a wacky joke of an instrument because of that.
Yes.
So when I first heard, I must confess that you were trying to teach kids how to play the ukulele, I thought, that's kind of funny.
Sure.
But it's not. I mean, what makes the ukulele not that crazy, you know, wacky instrument that Tiny Tim was playing, but actually a great entree into so much more?
Well, you know, it was even before Tiny Tim, back in the 20s, there'd be just, you are my sunshine, you know, or people would play 5'2", eyes of blue, and people with funny raccoon hats, and they'd go in a canoe with their girlfriends, and they'd all have ukuleles in the 20s, and that was the beginning of the, you know, when it was hitting pop culture for the first time, and people would just kind of hear this kind of thing, that was ukulele sound, which was great. What my dad figured out, his mother played a ukulele and gave him one at a young age. And when he became a teacher, he was using it, and kids love to play and sing, and that's wonderful. But what he understood very early on was that you could also give all of the fundamentals of a real music education by using this very affordable, attractive, inexpensive instrument. So he started out realizing, okay, well, melody, great, we can give melody. What about harmony? So melody and harmony together. You can hear them both. Because I know my scales and I know how to harmonize them. And then he thought, well, wait a minute, that's melody and harmony. What about, with my other hand, I've got rhythm. These are already 3 elements. I don't know, I paid $20 for this thing. This isn't bad so far, you know. So he would add all 3 together and you can hear. Hear them all?
How old were you when you learned how to play that?
That particular piece?
Well, just that kind of thing. I mean, you've known how to do that since you were a kid, right?
I started pretty young. I did. But, you know, we didn't even talk about singing and playing at the same time. An instrument that you can sing and play and self-accompany your voice is hugely beneficial to a child or anyone who's learning music, because look what you can do. You are my sunshine. Look how complicated this is. Sunshine, you make me happy. I'm singing a melody. I'm harmonizing my melody, and I'm also giving rhythm. I don't have anyone here with me. This is incredible. So what he talks about is the gift that you can give your student. What do they have when they go away from you? Not when they're with you and you're guiding and you're telling them, play that B note, B, B. No, what can they go away with and create on their own and participate with their family and spread into their community? So those are kind of the ideas that really turned me on. And when I got started in the school, people asked me to come in and do sometimes songwriting days or something like that. And I've done those, and it's really fun and working on songs. But without me there hand-holding, it's not really easy to write a song as a group. And so what I eventually said to schools was, you know, I'd really like to come in for 30 weeks. Give me 30 weeks with the kids and then they'll be writing songs. They will have all the tools. They will have their melody, harmony, and rhythm, and then they have something. That's what I'd like to give them. How about we do that? So that's kind of how it started.
And I guess size matters here, right? For kids to learn how to play, say, on a big guitar, difficult. Small ukulele, easier.
Less difficult.
Yeah.
It is more accessible. And there's a neat concept about the expectations. There are fewer expectations. What my dad's program does is apply all the same principles as a string program that you would learn at a violin program, Suzuki for instance. All of the same principles, but people don't have a heavy expectation about the ukulele. Ukulele is fun, and we're singing, and this is so much fun. They don't have some idea of their great-grandfather who came over from Russia and he was so great at the violin. You know, this pressure, or we've got to do a conservatory exam. It's just, oh, how good are you? Wow, that sounds good. Amazing. And so that's another aspect of it that makes it so attractive.
You've brought a bit of an ensemble today.
A bit. I tried to get a big ensemble in here, and we couldn't cram
You wanted
them.
25 kids to come in here, and unfortunately, as you look around the studio, that would have been hard.
Yeah, another time.
Another time in a different studio, perhaps.
Okay.
But today we have two.
We do.
Rosie and Theo, you want to join me over here? Come on over. This is Theo. Theo, you're 12?
Yes,
Rosie,
I am.
you are 10.
Yes.
Okay. You've each brought your ukulele. Did you each design those ukuleles, incidentally?
No.
No?
No.
You got them? You like the tie-dye and you like the...
Kiwi.
Kiwi. Got it, okay. And who are you two? Do you know her?
Yes, she is, in fact, our mother.
She is, in fact, our mother. So you are Melanie's two children.
Yes.
Did you have a choice about learning how to play the ukulele, Rosie? You did have a choice. You wanted to play it?
Yes.
Because?
Because, well, as my mom said, it can do so many different things, and it's smaller than a guitar, easier to play.
You found that, eh?
Yeah, for children, and so...
How old were you when you started playing?
5 or 6.
Oh, so you've been at it for a few years already.
Yeah.
Good. And Theo, how about you? How old were you when you first put the ukulele in your hands?
I started when I was 6, and my sister started a year later when she was 5.
What do you like about it?
I really love how we can play songs, we can play chords to songs and sing the melody of songs at the same time. We don't need 2 people to be there, one to do one part, one to do another. You can do everything on your own.
And did your mom teach you how to play?
Yes.
She's your teacher. What do we think of that?
I really like it. She has ukuleles around the house all the time. I can just pick up ukulele if I'm feeling bored. I can play a few songs. Just nice.
What do you think of Mom being the teacher?
I like it a lot.
No, tell me the truth. What do you think about Mom being a teacher? No, I'm kidding with you, Rosie. Is it not difficult to have Mom teach you sometimes? Because sometimes...
Sometimes,
Yeah,
but
that's okay. Now we're getting to the truth here, Melanie. Okay, now we're getting the real goods
As
here.
long as I have a snack there, I find that my mom duties are taken care of. So.
Gotcha, gotcha. Well, Melanie, would you sort of take us through how, I mean, these are your 2 kids, but frankly, you do this with anybody's kids. Can you show us how you sort of take people through the musical education process of playing the ukulele?
Well, what's so exciting, and people are teaching ukulele in schools, but what's so cool about this program is that it's not missing the opportunity of doing the basics. So that's why the Doane method is so different, and that's why I'm going to just put that out there, because we do things like, let's just do D scale 8 on each, okay? So here's a little intro. 1, 2, D scale, go! D, 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 D. This will be something we do in a beginner class.
And 8 on each means you're hitting the note 8 times.
8 times,
Got it.
8th notes. I'm giving you the quick version. Go down again, second, yep. This time when we get to the E note, I want you to eliminate E. Tricked Rosie because we've never done it quite like that before, but that's a really fun eliminator game where we drill
Now they're
the
doing the
notes.
scale. What were you doing?
I was doing an accompaniment which they wouldn't learn in the first year. But then as I have kids who are, You know, what's fun is me playing fancy stuff, and the kids who are ready say, how did you do that? How'd you do that? So then after class, I'll say, well, try this at home. And then they start to spread, as my dad would say, they start to teach by rumor, all the little extras. Huh. And so we do that stuff as well. And then we might do something like a pentatonic scale. So let's just do one on each and pentatonic, go. Another basic.
Pentatonic meaning five
notes.
Okay.
A 5-note scale that you hear in every culture. Do it again. People will recognize this. Once you have these notes, then we mix them up and play a million songs. So then we have repertoire. Then we have songs. We sing it, we pick a melody, and we're off to the races. Okay, you can just stop. Great. That's really easy stuff that we would be doing in our first year, plus singing and playing. So that's just a little example. But you know, a lot of people teaching are really concentrating on the singing and playing, which is phenomenal. But I guess what I want to say to any teachers who are working on a program, think about the rest of the opportunity of using melody and harmony and teaching that as well, because you can do all of it on this instrument. And there's no limit. Once you have those scales, you learn the next scale and the next scale, and then you have the rhythm and the scales together, and you're doing the fancy stuff that I was doing before. So it's, the opportunity is endless for learning.
Can I ask a silly question, though?
Yeah.
Playing is one skill. Singing is a different skill.
Yep.
Is it not hard to do both of those things at once?
A very intricate procedure.
Yeah, that's what
Absolutely.
I would have thought.
Yeah, so you do it in phases, and sometimes I do this in class. Turn your ukes right over. And we might, for the first half of the year, depending on what age group and how many kids, we might just say, okay, turn it over, and I'm just going to have you sing, and I'll be the player. Everyone's just going to sing, and we'll work on singing, and I'll see where the challenges are. Then some kids who are so quick with their singing already are ready to play, and they might be the one that I give a small chord to, or it might be the whole group. So it's, you know, you have to really figure out your class.
Got it.
But
do you want to show us some singing and playing together?
Yes, I do.
Because that sounds, is that hard, Rosie, singing and playing together?
When I first started, it was quite hard, but now...
Okay, so I'll be the strummer.
You got
I
it now.
can pretty do it.
You guys just sing at first and then come in and play. So we'll do a little song. This would be something we do in a beginner class, but they're going to do some harmonies, and we're going to make it fancier for kids who have played for a while, okay? So you'll do melody. Yeah, you'll do a high part, and I'll do a low part. Ready? 1, 2, ready, sing. Yellow bird, high up in banana tree. Yellow bird, you sit all alone like me. Now you guys join me. Did your lady friend leave the nest again? That is very sad, makes me feel so bad. You can fly away in the sky away. You're more lucky than me. Now I'm going to get you to play a melody this time. So we're using the scale skills to, now we're going to do this part. You play the melody, guys. Here we go. Now play it. Oh yeah, you do a harmony. Fine.
Bravo.
There you go.
You guys are like disgustingly talented. You know that? Because you were, not only do you play well, you were singing 3 different parts, right? When you were singing?
We are starting to really enjoy doing 3 parts together, and when we're in the car, we do that kind of stuff.
That is something.
Because that's what music nerdy people like to do. But, you know, when we're starting out, we just did one part together. And then as I noticed, oh, well, you know what, they can hold their note, let's add a part. And we do that in the group because that's really fun too.
Now,
Nice job.
That was a nice job, guys. I got to hand it to you. Mom is obviously an influence on all of this, but how about, what do you call him, Grandpa? Her dad?
Grampy.
Grampy, is that what you call him?
Yeah.
How about him? Has he taught you at all over the years, Theo?
Yes.
How's that gone?
It's gone great. Every time we go down to Nova Scotia, or if he comes to visit us, he always wants to take us into his studio for a lesson every day. He teaches us new things all the time. It's really fun.
Rosie, how about it? You like playing with Grampy?
Yeah, it's really fun. He's been starting to teach me piano also, because I only play violin and ukulele right now, and recorder, but...
Sorry, you only play violin and ukulele and recorder, and now you're going to learn piano.
Yeah, he's starting to teach me piano. Last summer he started
And
to
you're
do that
10.
with me. Yeah.
Got it.
We've got a lot of catching up to do. So
A lot of catching up to do, I see.
A lot of work ahead.
I see. That's really quite cool. Guys, that's terrific. Thank you very much for sharing that with us. Sit tight, because your mom and I are going to chat a little bit more here, okay? Do you see yourself primarily now as a music teacher or a music maker?
I'm really trying to figure it out. This is something that obviously I'm really excited about and passionate about, but it also takes a lot of time. And the more I do it, the more kids I meet and want to be in their lives and help them get better at their music. So it kind of takes over. You have to assess every so often, because I really do love to perform and I like to record and do all of those things. But what I'm loving is getting to see these guys with their friends when I teach at their school, which is really a lot of fun. And then I'm meeting kids in my community. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. But for now, I'm still trying to balance. Still trying to find time to perform. I'll be doing the holiday train this year, which is a cross-Canada train trip for the CP Rail. And I'll say goodbye to these guys for a couple weeks, and I know, it's okay. For a couple weeks, and we ride the rails right across the country, and that's for the food banks.
Fabulous.
Yeah,
Who's
it's pretty neat. My brother Creighton is in my band, and Mike Borkowski. Yeah, he was here once, that's right, and Mike too. Jim Cuddy's going to be doing some dates, and out west, I think Sarah McLaughlin's going to be doing some dates. So I'm going to do the whole train trip, and then people are coming in throughout. Crystal Shawanda's doing dates, and Doc Walker's doing dates. It's a big deal. So watch for the holiday train dates in your town.
Rosie, when you look at your mom, I mean, some people think she's a pretty hot rock and roll star. Do you see that? You do see that?
Yeah.
How about you, Theo?
I don't know. She just seems like a mom to me.
He's asking weird questions, let's face it.
That's what I do.
That's crazy.
I ask weird questions.
That's crazy talk.
That's crazy talk, because you're just a mom, eh? But there's only one of you. And I guess if you want to get this into, schools in a big way, you're going to have to do something, right? Franchise it out, or teach teachers, or what are you going to have to do? Teaching
teachers is my favorite thing to do. Mentoring music specialists within the school system who are teaching classroom music. This is a classroom music program. James Hill must be mentioned. If people don't know about James Hill, he's a Canadian. He's the #1 virtuoso ukulele player in the world. Just amazing. He grew up in the Doane method out west, so we didn't know him when he's younger than I am, but he was a kid who was taught by a teacher from Halifax, became a teacher, went out west. There's pockets all across the country. Anyway, this kid grew up, became the best player, realized, oh, well, who's this Chalmers Doane guy? Never met my dad, never was taught by my dad, but he knows all the songs that I grew up playing. I mean, just incredible. Eventually went and met with Dad. They relaunched the whole method. So it's the James Hill Chalmers Doane method, relaunched internationally. So James is in Beijing, then he's in Australia, then he's back in Canada, he's in Japan, then he's back to California. He's global. I'm in the trenches doing hands-on kid stuff, and James has now moved to Nova Scotia. He lives down the road from my dad.
Isn't that something?
Yeah, he's in a plane most of the time, but he's got to be mentioned. And if you haven't seen him play, go on YouTube, see him do Billie Jean and the other things. Incredible, right, guys?
Yes.
I know,
you
we're
guys
lucky.
Met him? Do you know him?
Yeah.
Yes.
You have met him and you know him. Good stuff, eh?
Yes, he is an amazing ukulele player. We've heard him play duets with my mom, or many
Grampy
songs
too sometimes.
with multiple people. They all play their own parts. They're all amazing.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Mel, we've got a couple of minutes left here, and I think the one person we need to hear solo, doing her thing on the ukulele, is you.
Oh,
so what are you going to leave us with today?
Oh dear, I was going to make them play with me.
Well, you know what? We could do that if you'd prefer. I'm absolutely up.
Yeah, I think
for
I
that.
should make you guys play.
Put
no
you
one
guys to
needs
work?
to hear me do anything anymore.
Okay.
So why don't I just do kind of this little rockin' thing, and you guys play that pentatonic, and then I'll let you do a little solo. 1, 2, ready, do it. So Theo, do a solo. Okay, Rosie, you do a little solo, and then we're gonna wrap it up. Okay,
Bravo!
there you go.
That was fantastic, guys. Did you know what you were going to play before you played it? That was you're winging it there. You're riffing.
Improvising.
Improvising, that's the word I'm looking for. You're improvising as you're doing your solos there.
Yes.
On a pentatonic scale. So we had some rules, but then you improvise within the rules, which is always a little bit helpful when you're learning.
Gotcha. Melanie Doane, it's so great to see you again, and this
see you.
is
Thank you.
really, really fantastic. Keep it going, okay?
Oh yes, don't worry.
And Theo, it's nice to meet you, and thank you for coming in tonight.
Thank you for having me.
It's our pleasure, and Rosie, it's a great pleasure to meet you too.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. The Amazing Doanes. Okay, there we go. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, Steve.
Support Ontario's public television. Donate at tvo.org.